Welcome to the podcast about investing in startups, where existing investors can learn how to get the best deal possible. And those that have never before invested in startups can learn the keys to success from the venture experts. Your host is Nick Moran, and this is The Full Ratchet.
Welcome back to The Full Ratchet. On today's Investor Stories segment, the experts weigh in on the characteristics, personality traits, and behaviors that they see in the most remarkable and successful entrepreneurs. Here's the special segment called Exceptional Founders. On today's special segment, we have Chris Olsen of Drive Capital. Chris, can you tell us a story about a specific thing that a founder did that wowed you and made you realize that the entrepreneur was exceptional?
So we invested in a company in Chicago called Kapow. And Kapow is a marketplace for corporate events. As the company has grown, it has gone through a period where they've had to transition from a services company into a technology and product-driven organization. That's one of those challenges we talk about a lot, and I've seen very few companies succeed in making that transition. Mark Halpin is the founder of that company, and Mark has made a lot of tough decisions in the boardroom, specifically around hiring engineering talent over marketing talent. He's had to trim some of the early sales talent to get to that, to afford to pay for the engineering talent. And now he's come out the other side, and the company has an incredibly scalable model and is one of those companies that is doing special things for their customers in the corporate event space. But Mark is a truly special founder who has found a way to engineer all kinds of solutions. And he's not an engineer. He's somebody who has been learning this stuff on the fly, and he's proven to be a tremendous, tremendous founder.
On today's special segment, we have Jay Acunzo. Jay, can you talk about an exceptional founder that you've encountered and what made that entrepreneur so remarkable?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we are really interested in is like the raw, ugly early stages. Half of our investments are actually pre-launch, pre-product, and a lot of them in many cases are a handful of people that have a problem they want to solve and a very raw idea of what the problem or product would even be. So we love that really, really, truly early stage investing, whether you call it pre-seed or seed or whatever. There's a friend of mine actually left Google a while ago named Grant Burgess. He went to New Zealand to just travel for fun, found a founder that he actually loved to work with on a part-time basis to pay his travel bills, and ended up being the COO of this guy's company. Now he's back in Boston trying to build something from scratch, and he's couch surfing and he's doing all the things that you kind of hear of in like the lore of building startups, but he's doing it in a really authentic way. And what I'm struck by is like he's so unique in that he actually did leave one of the giant tech companies in Google, and he's like living his desire to build a company, not what I see a lot of people do, which is like say they want to do it and then never leave, say they want to do it and then try to do it within the walls of a large company, or say they want to do it, leave, and kind of like half-ass the idea and then go join a later stage company as a director or something like that. So this guy, Grant Burgess, like I have all the respect in the world for him because he is truly doing what a lot of people in my ex-Google network are kind of too scared to do almost. Like for me, for example, I've never built a business from scratch. So I just admire the hell out of what he's been able to do.
On today's special segment, we have Mike Collett of Promus Ventures. Mike, have you had the pleasure of investing in an exceptional founder? If so, what made that entrepreneur so great? And can you highlight the aspects that make founders exceptional?
Well, that's a great question. And this is probably going to sound corny, but, the greatest pleasure of my job is working with, extraordinarily talented and amazing founders. And, listen, we're not going to invest unless we believe a team is of that caliber. And sometimes we get it wrong. And a lot of times we just underestimate how great those teams are. And, what makes a founder so great in our mind is the ability to see way beyond the horizon, right? But be humble enough to say, listen, we have no idea how we're going to get there, right? We can put it on paper, but, the process is the fun part. But I can tell you right now, that's where everything is going. And leaders lead, right? And if you can't look behind you and see people following you, or if you can't see all the people a founder is hired to say, you turn around like, we are with you, right? We are with, let's go. Like, those are the people that make me a better person, that every day you get to work with and are just, you're amazed at how the bar that they set and how they're conducting themselves. And we talk a lot about character, and we mean it. And I don't, if you have the moral fortitude to get the job done, you're going to see it in your life, right? I want to understand, like, show me times in your life where, you've had pain, and show me where you've moved past that pain to get to the finish line. Nothing great comes without sacrifice, right? I mean, you hear that a lot too. And you look back and I mean, the greatest generation of the World War II, right? I mean, those guys, gave all that they could. They totally understood what that meant. And do we understand that now? Like, does my generation, the generation understand us, understand what that takes? And so you can't teach passion. I got the privilege of, like, coaching my boys' basketball teams, and it's like, I love the kids who, like, are so fiercely competitive and they're crazy and they're angry and they're getting technicals. Like, you can't teach that. Like, you can shape that.
Right.
But you cannot teach that. Like, you either want to get out there and get your hands dirty and build, or you don't. And so, the extraordinary founders who do that, it's just such a pleasure to work with those people. They run the race. They run with perseverance, a race that's set out before them. And they do it mostly with optimism, and leading is hard and it's lonely. It's just, that's really what it makes what I do and why I love what I do so much fun. It's just being able to work beside just extraordinary people.
Will you talk with portfolio company founders to get a better sense for character of an entrepreneur while you're sort of evaluating a deal?
Talk to other people that know that founder?
Yeah, maybe like a founder at a portfolio company that recommended the startup to you.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, if one of our if the founding team says we need to talk to somebody, I'm going to ask them about those people. Why do you like them? What kind of people are there? What have you seen in them that you like about them? And I mean, it may be a couple beers in Dublin, at a conference where they just came away blown away about how this team thought about this one area or something. Those are all great things for us to hear. So absolutely we do. I mean, we try to back check these founders as much as we can.
That will wrap up this installment of Investor Stories. Head over to thefullratchet.net to leave a comment, sign up for the newsletter, or find resources discussed on any of the episodes. Until next time, remember to over-prepare, choose carefully, and invest confidently. Thanks for listening.